When Ubisoft launched Black Flag Reincarnate this month, it looked like a massive win. They sold 2 million copies in just 24 hours, making it the best Steam launch in the company's entire history. But if you worked on that game, your reward for breaking company records was a pink slip. Ubisoft fired the very developers who built their most successful title to date, almost overnight. This chart tracks Ubisoft's 40-year valuation. The line plummets here, representing a massive $1.3 billion operating loss. The stock has lost 93% of its value since 2018, and projecting forward to 2028, it completely flatlines, with no profit expected. How does a massive, wealthy studio with a roster of major intellectual properties reach the point of total collapse? You don't lose over $1 billion by accident. You do it by systematically alienating 3 distinct groups of people. First, you target the people actually buying your products. Ubisoft leader Fit recently went on record stating that gamers need to get comfortable with not owning their games. They've been pushing this angle for over a decade. Back in 2010, they shipped Assassin's Creed 2 with a strict always-online requirement. When Ubisoft's servers inevitably crashed, paying customers were completely locked out of a single-player game, while people who pirated the game could play it without a single issue. Cut to today, and they are pulling the exact same tricks. They recently shut down the servers for The Crew, permanently deleting a game millions paid full price for, while simultaneously trying to sell players crypto NFT receipts for digital images instead of actual games. They even do it when you think you're offline. This network node diagram illustrates a 2025 privacy investigation into Far Cry Primal. Despite being a strictly offline single-player game, you can see this single central node rapidly pinging external servers, contacting Amazon, Google, and Datadog 150 times in just 10 minutes of play. Ubisoft treats its consumer base strictly as a metric for data extraction and continuous revenue. If you attempt to actually own the product you paid for, you get punished. But the hostility doesn't stop at the storefront. It goes straight into the studios making the games. Internal investigations in 2020 exposed a deeply toxic corporate culture festering inside their headquarters. Employees reported years of widespread harassment, misogyny, and severe physical danger. We are talking about instances of staff being drugged without their consent, and one executive literally setting a colleague's beard on fire. It took 5 years for any semblance of justice to materialize. In 2025, 3 top Ubisoft executives finally faced criminal convictions in French courts for moral and sexual harassment. Yet, those executives walked away with suspended sentences and minor fines. Meanwhile, the actual workforce has been gutted. Since 2022, Ubisoft has eliminated over 4,000 jobs through sweeping studio closures and worldwide layoffs. The developers who generate the actual value lose their livelihoods or suffer abuse, while the heavily insulated executives who built that exact toxic culture avoid any serious consequences. Burning both your customers and your employees eventually burns your bank account. Now the company is quietly carving up its own remaining assets just to keep the lights on. They recently spun off Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six, their only 3 consistently profitable franchises, into a brand new subsidiary called Vantage Studios. Then, they sold a 26% minority stake in that specific subsidiary directly to the Chinese conglomerate Tencent. This scale animation illustrates the horrifying reality of that deal. The 26% slice of those 3 franchises is mathematically worth more on paper than the entire 40-year backlog of every other studio, game, and intellectual property Ubisoft owns, combined. These maneuvers look less like restructuring and more like a total liquidation. Ubisoft has reached a point where the parent company is worth less than a minority stake in its 3 biggest hits. All of this, the anti-consumer storefronts, the workplace abuses, the financial freefall, happened under the watch of one person, CEO Yves Guillemot. Despite a 93% stock crash, mass layoffs, and criminal convictions within his upper management, he has never stepped down. He is still in charge, still collecting a massive executive paycheck, and he is still actively working against players. Just weeks before the EU rejected a massive proposal for gain preservation laws in 2026, Guillemot reportedly held a closed-door lobbying meeting with officials to ensure that exact proposal failed. Ubisoft proves what happens when a studio prioritizes executive wealth and shareholder control over basic artistic integrity and respect for the player. The collapse of a studio this size serves as a terminal warning. As these massive corporate structures buckle under their own weight, the vacuum is being filled by a new class of independent creators who actually respect the player.